Yeah, Kareem, just wondering your reaction to the protests that are going on nationwide, and then I know you're very close with Justin Simmons. Just your reaction to him going out there and helping to lead a peaceful protest.
Um, yeah, I think that was great for Jay to do that. To go out and protest in a peaceful way. I mean, it's just a testament to the type of guy he is. He's very involved in the Denver community. So I would I wouldn't expect that from anyone. You know, it's but Jay. And for him to go out and do that. But I mean, it's obviously it's a sad time right now, and what we're going through. But at the end of the day, I think those things have to be done. Have to go out and do what the things we can do to be heard, and try to do it in a peaceful way.
Next, we've got Ryan O'Halloran, Denver Post, followed by James Palmer. Ryan, go.
Hey Kareem, what are some of your takeaways from the team meeting today, and did anybody say anything that really struck a chord with you?
Um, I think today was great for us as a team. To start that dialogue and just kind of we kind of split it up offensively and defensively. And it was great for Joe to be able to do that for us and also give us a chance to talk and let it be heard. How we feel. And my takeaway from it was that we have to figure out what we can do, not only as a team but as a organization. How can we get out and how can we impact the Denver community? How can we can get out and put together a march as a team or something like that. I feel like we have to get out in the community and be heard. You know, um, just with the opportunities that we have. As professional athletes. And I think it's huge for us to be heard, and it's huge for us to be out in the community, so everyone can see that, see us, and know that we stand behind them, and as a team, we're not only unified on the field, but we're unified off the field as well. So I think it's huge that we kind of get out as a team and as an organization and get out in these communities and try to do some things that that's kind of helping the cause.
Next, we've got James Palmer, NFL Network, followed by Nikki Javala. James, go ahead, please.
Hey, Kareem, hope you're doing all right. You mentioned as a team kind of getting together and things like that. How much – you've been around a long time. How much do you talk to other guys on other teams during this, past week about what's gone on? How much of a conversation is it kind of amongst guys around the league, not just teammates?
I think it's a lot of conversations being had amongst guys around the league. I know at the spot that I work out here, obviously I'm the only Denver player there. There's a couple of Houston Texans there, and DJ Rhea being with the Bengals, just signing with him. But just kind of having conversation amongst each other, and I think we're all at a conclusion in which it's time to put out some type of action. I mean, and in the meeting earlier today, as something that I kind of said, we can talk about it until we're blue in the face, and we all see what's going on, but we have to put some type of action behind it. So, I mean, just with those guys, just having conversations and just saying like, okay, what can we do next? I think that's the big thing for us now is trying to figure out, what's the next step in which, we can promote, and do things the right way, when it comes to this social injustice.
Next, we've got Nikki Javala with The Athletic, followed by Mike Kliss. Nikki, go ahead, please.
Kareem, you started to hit on it there, but what in your mind, or do you have certain ideas that you want to do to kind of move the conversation forward to lead to change?
I think right now, I think us maybe I know it's kind of hard now because we got guys all over the place, and maybe it's something it just may be the guys in Denver, or we kind of extend the invite to, whatever guys that can, make it back in town. I mean, and also it's still kind of hard with COVID going on, but I think it may be a thing where we need to get out and we need to maybe put together our own march. Like I said, so these kids and everybody in these communities can actually see us and see we actually, we're there to help them. We're there to, and we're all on the same page with them. Because a lot of times they can kind of feel like they're, we're not connected to what's going on in the real world. I know a lot of people may think that, but at the same time, we're affected as well. So I think it may be a thing where we need to get out, and maybe try to put together a march, here in the next couple of weeks, and just so, like I said, just to let everybody know we're impacted by this as well, and we're there to support, whomever we need to support, and we definitely like I say want to be there, every step of the way with them.
Next, we got Mike Kliss, followed by Brandon Cristal. Mike, go ahead, please. Let's go ahead to Brandon. We'll get Mike on after. Brandon, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Kareem, just kind of picking up on where you were just with Nikki's question, and it seems like you're talking through this kind of out loud to us. Is it something where when you get off with us, maybe you start texting some of the guys that aren't in Denver that are around the country that you think could get back to kind of catalyze this and maybe get out here before I don't say it gets too late. Hopefully things die down, but is it something that you might actually do when you get off with us?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get on with a couple of guys later tonight. And like I said, I mean, that was one of the biggest things with me on our group call earlier with the defense. Just trying to figure out, what can we do next? Other than just have the conversation that we had, with the team. I mean, like I said, we have to put some action behind our words. So, just like I said, and I'll get on with a couple of guys here later tonight, and just trying to kick around some ideas in which we can go out and we can be productive.
Next, we've got Mike Kliss, followed by Mark Kisla. Mike, your line should be unmuted now. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Kareem, could you just talk about, how team sports, in the locker room, there doesn't seem to be any color, that really the only color all you guys see is the color of your uniform. Just how much team sports seems to, overcome all racial divides.
Right. And just in what you're saying, and I think that's true. I mean, obviously for us and having, so many guys in that locker room from all walks of life, all ethnicities, we all kind of grew up different, from different parts of the world. And we all come together, for one common goal and one cause, and that's to try to win ball games. So when it comes to something like this, when, to see, to a point where it's kind of dividing the world, that's why I said we need to get out as a team and show that, we have, like I said, we have everybody in the locker room from all walks of life to kind of go out and show that, we're not only unified on the field, but we're unified off the field. We can all be brothers off the field. And I think, with the community maybe seeing us and getting out and just trying to promote, things in the right way and let them know that, like I said, we're there for them. This thing is affecting us as well. And I think that can start to, kind of the healing process just amongst, our community, because it's a sad time, in what we're going through right now. And I mean, obviously sports is one of the biggest things in which everybody has to be on the same page. And for us, the amount of guys we have on the field at one time, we all have to be on the same page. So why can't we be on the same page when it comes to getting out in the community and doing something, that's a great cause and helping bring everybody together. For me, it's all about trying to bridge the gap right now. And it's obvious that it's a gap, but we have to try to bridge this gap some type of way.
As we got time for a couple more. Next, we've got Mark Kisla, followed by Troy Rank. Mark, go ahead, please.
Kareem, your backstory is really well known. As a young man and getting inspired to believing you can do great things. And I agree with the idea that the uniform unifies people. But you, with fame and fortune, when you take off that uniform, what's the biggest challenge or most painful aspect of being a Black man in America society to you now?
I think for me, it's the fact of still, having to be racially profiled, regardless of who I am, and like you said, when I take that uniform off, I'm just another regular citizen. I'm just another, regular African American. I've been in several situations in which I've been racially profiled by cops. I was just telling someone earlier a story about this is back when I played in Houston and getting pulled over, and this, once they walk up to the car and they see me, they instantly ask, whose car is this? And it's like, and for me, it's an insult because, just right off the bat, what makes you ask me that question? I can't afford this type of car. And granted, obviously don't know who I am, but because I'm a African American driving a nice car, what makes you think I can't afford this car? So, I think that's the biggest issue. That's the obvious issue. Once we take the uniform off, we're just like any other African American, in the streets, in the community. It could be any of us in that situation, so I think for us, trying to avoid those situations as much as possible is something that, we have to, but at the same time, some situations are unavoidable, and we shouldn't have to go out and be in public and look over our shoulder just because of our race. So, that's definitely one of the things that has to, come to a stop.
What was your reaction to that video?
It was horrifying for me. I just think about, the younger generation, and with me having daughters and having a nephew as well, and him being in my hometown and I've been in, some situations to where they could have been, bad situations as well. But we have to try to promote some change, because we can't continue to live in a world where those type of things happen. And now when my kids get older and my nephew get older and they're in a similar situation, or it's maybe happening to one of their friends. So, it's the conversation has to start now, and we have to put some action behind, the conversation, because if not, those things will continue to happen. But that's definitely unacceptable. It's horrifying to see those type of things, and just to think of, about his family, and for them to have to watch that. I know how it affected me. I know how it affected some of the other, people around the world. But just to think about his family and them having to watch that, and it's sad.
Thank you.
Time for two more. Troy Rank, followed by Rod Mackey. Troy, go ahead, please.
Kareem, when Colin Kaepernick protested, he was trying to bring to light many of these same issues, regarding police brutality. Do you think now, a few years later, that there's more of a receptive audience given the amount of protests across the country? Are you more hopeful now that their voices will be heard?
I'm definitely more hopeful now. But it's a shame that it's under these circumstances, because Cap started it years ago, and this is something, obviously we've been going through for hundreds of years, and for it to be 2020 and to still be going through things like that, I'm definitely more hopeful. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I know, and at my age, being 32, I probably won't see any change. But for me, it's all about what can we change for the next generation. For them to not have to go out and, not be able to wear hoodies at night, or, to not be able to ride their bikes late at night, or just whatever. To drive nice cars and not be racially profiled because they're, African American, stuff like that. So I'm definitely more hopeful now, but we have to continue to, take the necessary steps in which we can be heard, so these things don't continue to occur.
Last one, Rod Mackey, 9 News. Rod, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Kareem, thanks for doing this. Before you got on, Coach Fangio talked to us, and he said, he really doesn't see racism in the NFL. And he said, it's too bad as a society, it can't be like things are in the NFL, or it'd be great out there. Can you kind of talk about your thoughts on what he said there?
Yeah. I mean, I just think, obviously in the NFL, it's just so many other moving parts in terms of focus and when we all know once we get in that locker room, only thing we focusing on is winning. So it's not really any police. It's nobody in the locker room policing us. So and our main focus is to win games. We come, we practice, we take care of our bodies, we do what's necessary to get ready to go the next day. But at the same time, it's another side of that when you leave that locker room and you go into the real world and where you are going to be profiled, when you are going to be looked at, because you're African American and maybe staying in a neighborhood that, they may not think you deserve to be in. So I think it's obviously two different spectrums, for us, and it's the side of being an athlete and going into your workplace, and then it's coming out of your workplace and going into the real world. So, like I said, man, we just got to continue to do what's necessary to be heard, and we got to try to do it peacefully. But we're seeing now that it's to the point where we have so many people that's fed up. So we just got to continue to try to take the steps in the right direction, and I feel like as a team, as an organization, we have to make a huge impact in the community when it comes to this issue.